Дуже пишет, да?
Misha,
Bender.
I'm so happy. Thank you so much for accepting the interview in such a great company. We couldn't expect we can have. Sorry, what is your name? Do you speak English?
Of course she does.
What's your name?
She doesn't speak anything. Mila.
Very
Mila-Elina.
Mila-Elina. Nice to meet you. I'm Katerina.
Very nice to meet you.
What is
Don't be
your
shy.
name?
Don't be
Could
shy.
you please tell us?
My name is Evelyn.
Evelyn, nice to meet you.
Nice to
I'm
meet you
Katerina.
too.
Misha, you are a well-known person, so I will not ask what is your name, so everyone knows. I'm really happy that we have such a chance to speak together. So we will start with children. How many children do you have?
I have 6 altogether, but 2 of them are not children. They're adults and we play together even. And with Evelyn we have 4, and Mila is the youngest one, 4 years old. And
Oh, yes.
one of her brothers, Mateo, is 6,
Mm-hmm.
another Manuel is 10, and Maxim is 14.
Oh,
So he's coming only next week here because he's busy himself in the chamber music course in Belgium.
what instrument does
He
he
plays
play?
piano.
Piano. And every other person in your family plays
Yes.
Instrument?
Yes.
They
little
all
bit.
play.
all.
Yes.
What instruments? Different or
What do you play, Mila?
Mila? What do you
Mila
play?
started playing violin.
Oh,
Yes.
She played already 1 year violin and she will start piano now in
1
September.
year already, since you are 3.
Oh, a little bit, Suzuki.
Aha.
And Mateo is also playing violin and piano. And Manuel
Right.
is playing piano and football.
Mostly football, but the same was with me. That's
It's the same.
It's normal, yes.
Piano or football. So soon we can expect the great Maisky septet.
I don't know. I'm not sure that they will be professional musicians, but that's okay. As long as they learn to love and appreciate music, that's most important. And then we'll see.
For sure. Do you usually visit father's concerts?
She just did.
Why did you sit down?
Isn't it your first concert? No.
Well, yes, you know.
Sorry. I didn't want to
We are not
frustrate.
so sure anymore. But you should have had
So
Mateo.
let's
here.
consider it
Yes,
was the first.
If Mateo would be here, he would be talking non-stop. I wouldn't be able to say anything.
It's a pity.
It's exactly
we
opposite.
Should I go and get him?
Go get him if it's good.
Oh, we would like to meet Mateo very much because
He
we
speaks as much as Misha.
No, much more.
much more.
I can ask Mama to get him.
Okay, so
Okay, so we are waiting for Mateo. We have some questions to Misha, and
Yes.
while we're waiting for
You
Mateo.
want to come and get Mateo with me? Let's get Mateo.
Misha, you've just performed unknown piece, oops,
by unknown composer. Yes.
by absolutely unknown composer Peter somehow Tchaikovsky, and something about Rococo.
Yeah.
Could I ask you if you know this? How many times did you perform this piece during your entire life?
Actually, I could have checked in my database
Ah,
and tell you exactly, but I didn't. And,
Approximately.
I have no idea, but probably about a couple of 100 times for sure.
unbelievable.
Not as nearly as much as Dvorak concerto, which definitely probably double, almost 400 times. But Rococo, I would imagine over 200 times.
So-
But first time I played it in 1965, the All-Russian competition. So it's been 54 years.
54 years.
So it's not even that many times for 54 years.
Do I understand that Dvorak still is the first piece for cellist?
Yes, Dvorak concerto is arguably most famous, most popular cello concerto, and for good reason, because it is one of the greatest concertos, period, not just cello concertos. It's one of the very few pieces which even violinists and some pianists are envious of, although they have, of course, enough of absolutely incredible music written for them. So.
how can you stand to play it more and more and more and more? Sometimes some people say, oh, I cannot do this anymore because I cannot see it, or what happens?
Oh, but it's ridiculous. And for me, every time is like the first time, and at the same time, like the last time. So that's why every concert for me is the most important concert in my life. At least that's how, it's my general attitude towards concerts. And I think that's very important, to treat each concert as possibly your last one. And it's not a question of age, because at any age you never know what happens tomorrow.
Question of approach.
Yes.
I see.
And if you love music, and I make a point in playing only music which I like enough to be in love with at the moment that I play. Mm-hmm. At the moment I play it, it's my favorite piece. So then there's absolutely no problem to
Play it one more time.
Absolutely, yes.
Can I ask you about contemporary music? Do you play much contemporary music, or
Yes.
still more classical?
Of course I play contemporary music. I play Bach. Which,
Why contemporary? Why not?
Yes,
Still contemporary.
absolutely. I think it's as contemporary as it was 300 years ago, as
Quite new.
it will be 300 years from now. No, but okay, that's something else. It's not a joke, I mean it. But yes, I do play some contemporary music, even though not enough. I wish I would find more time and energy to do it. But for me, quality was always more important than quantity. And I believe no matter what kind of music you play, you should try to do your absolutely best. But if you play Bach, Mozart, Schubert, Brahms, and so on, and don't play well, then nobody in their right mind will think that Bach or Mozart or Schubert are not good composers. They will blame the interpreter. If you play contemporary music and don't do your best and happen to be well-known, famous, or whatever musician, the danger is that people might say, wait a minute, this is a famous musician, which means the music is not good. So it's even more responsibility to do contemporary music 120%, so to say, not just 100. And for this you need time and experience, and it's a different language. I couldn't do this interview in Chinese. You see, I'm even hesitant in doing it in Russian, my first language. But so it's a different language. So I limit myself to doing only what I hope I can do justice to. So I believe we all have talents and limitations. Very few people can do everything at the highest level. For this, it's not enough to be just talented. You have to be almost a genius. There are very few geniuses. There are many people who think they're geniuses, but that's where the problem starts. So I believe the most important quality is to figure out what your strengths are and what your weaknesses are, and not to do something you cannot do well, and stick to something you can do best. So that's why I keep making children, and because that's what I do best. And in my spare time, I still play cello.
Bravo, Misha. You're the best,
That's
for sure.
That's only
For sure you're
four,
the
but actually I have picture of all of them together, but it's not so recent. It's difficult to get them all together on the picture. That's 6
Unbelievable.
plus the dog.
It's a team. It's a big team. Bravo.
It's not so big,
Why?
Bach had much more. But he wrote 6 scenes for cello solo, and I have 6 children, and I'm not planning to compete with Bach, who had 20, or in Russia they say 21.
Why not?
Why not? Because nobody could compete with Bach in any way.
I'm sorry
No, don't be sorry.
to offer this
Don't be
awful
sorry,
thing.
it's just, that's fact of life. But
No, very beautiful. So we continue until Mateo is coming, because I'm afraid you will not have a chance to speak to me.
Yes, when the moment
after he
Mateo will
comes.
come, it's his, all his, yes.
Our project is called MusicPassion Club. So it's for people who are passionate in music. And
Can I apply for membership?
I will be really happy if you will do this.
I'm still passionate about music.
The question is, passion is about emotions.
Absolutely, yes.
But when we deal with classical music, it's also, especially Bach, but not only,
Yes.
it's about intellectual. How do you combine these two things?
You know, I always say there's different levels of communication between artists on stage and the audience in the hall. There's this physical element. We produce sounds, sound waves, which people hear. Without this, there's no music, unless it's John Cage, who wrote Silent Piece. And there's thousands of musicians who master this level by playing their instrument fantastically well. Then, on top, it's like foundation of the building, so to say, very important. Then comes the building itself, its intellectual element. Through sounds we transmit certain musical ideas, which hopefully reach a little bit deeper than people's ears, reach people's minds. And there are hundreds of fantastic musicians who master both of these levels. Then, in my opinion, there's an even higher level. It's this, in addition, not instead, but in addition to this two, it's this emotional element when one tries and hopefully succeeds, at least sometimes, to reach not just people's ears or their minds, but people's hearts. And that's what makes the difference between very good musicians and great artists. And in order to reach people's hearts, it has to originate from your heart, not just from your mind. It originates from your heart. It goes through your mind, through your computer. It gives commands to your hands. It goes through the instrument and then reaches people's ears. But this is rather mysterious, and you know, I can't explain this with words. But sometimes you hear the concert or even a recording, and something happens at certain moments which you might remember the rest of your life. And for me, that's what it is all about.
Can you tell us, for maybe wider audience, why should they listen to classical music? Because of course we have this little bit problem because our audience is not very young and so on. Why?
Depends. I actually all over the world, particularly in the Far East, in Japan, where I go twice a year.
Very young.
And China and Korea, there's plenty of young people. In Europe as well. Maybe not as many as we would like to, but still, it's not nearly. Anyway, I personally not nearly as pessimistic as some people who say that classical music is dying. The music, great music, like any great art, will never die. It just changes. Times are changing. Everything is changing, and we have to adapt. And sometimes we're a little bit too slow to react to these changes. But anyway, I think classical music is extremely important. Like any art, beauty in general, which helps people to develop their better side, opposed to violent side. And I believe that if more people would listen and enjoy and appreciate great music and great art, and there would be much less conflicts in the world. But
our goal for MusicPassion Club is to promote more classical music. So if you could tell them personally something.
One doesn't need to be a connoisseur to appreciate and enjoy great classical music. I am absolutely convinced, and from many, many years of experience, I can tell you that even people who never heard the names of Bach or Mozart or Schubert enjoyed great music on many occasions I've witnessed, and it can change your life to the better if you will discover and enjoy great music.
Как мы его успели. Thank you. So we're happy to invite Mateo. Mateo.
Are you tired, baby?
No. Hello.
Can we please have your interview? Какая красота.
Okay, they want to film exactly what you're doing there now. Okay, come.
Mateo, you are really beautiful. You don't need anything. Several words for the world. Вы не видели лицо спереди.
Mr. Maisky, he needs to warm up. He's a bit tired.
I'm not tired.
No?
You're not tired.
We see you're not tired.
I just had the worst day ever.
Worst day ever.
Worst day ever. What happened?
Oh, wow.
Could you tell us?
Because you missed Papa's concert. That's what.
This is really awful.
I didn't want to go
Okay. There
why?
we go.
because I was too busy watering, like water fight.
We had a water fight.
Water fight.
So it's much more important than Tchaikovsky.
Oh my
I'm so
God.
sorry.
But I was telling them that you were playing violin and
Mila,
piano.
no, please.
Do you play violin?
I told you it's a secret.
Oh,
It's a secret. We will not tell anyone. Be sure. No one will know. Do you like music?
Okay.
It's yes or not?
Mateo is on strike. We told him you speak so well and so nicely. And
He just
suddenly,
needs to
And
what
without a
happened?
stop. We're waiting for your...
What happened?
Without a stop. No.
I
Okay.
only know one joke.
Oh,
of
please,
course
just
you
one.
do.
Only
Not
one.
funny.
No.
Not funny. It's okay. For us, it's okay. We are not a funny
Okay.
program. We are very serious programs. You see, it's applause for you. So please, we're waiting for a joke. Oh, no. What music do you give to listen to, or do you think children must listen to become a real music admirer?
I think they should start 9 months before they're born.
I'm so sorry. With,
No,
with their
anyway.
parents.
No, yes, I played for them when Evelyn was pregnant. We regularly played for them some great music, and I'm sure that even in the mother's womb they can enjoy it and hear it. And and then of course, you know, as Leonard Bernstein once said, and probably before some other great people, there's only two kinds of music. There's good music and not very good music. In classical music, also not everything is good. And the same there's great pop music and rock music and jazz, of course. So as long as they're encountering quality music, no matter what kind of music it is, that's what's important, and it develops their taste and appreciation of real quality music and everything else in life.
What kind of, let's say, pop, rock, jazz music you consider good? Maybe you could give us names.
I'm a little bit old-fashioned. I don't. And it's not even a question of being old-fashioned; just a question of time. I'm so busy traveling, playing concerts, and trying to spend whatever time left with my family. So I don't really have time to discover and enjoy much new music. I always used to listen to a lot of jazz.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of more traditional, classic.
Maybe some names.
Oh, I used to listen to modern jazz quartet, Oscar Peterson, and many different musicians, and of course at my time the Beatles, of course, was big craze, and rightly so, because it's absolutely wonderful music. And
I did.
my favorite rock group at the time was Blood, Sweat and Tears. I remember that was a long time ago, of course. And nowadays I listen mostly to classical music, and even then not enough, because again, just a question of time. But youngsters, our older boys, Manuel, who is 10, and Maxime, who is 14, they listen to all kinds of music. And even though Maxime lately very much into classical music, because he started seriously playing piano.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But yeah, there's plenty of fantastic music.
Do you play with Maxime together?
Oh yes, we played together quite a few times with Manuel as well. Recently we had a big charity concert for Cancer Foundation, where 4 of my 6 children participated, and Evelyn as well.
Oh.
She
What
took out
you
her
play?
cello,
I study cello.
Oh, really? Me too.
even though later she doesn't have much time and chance because of 4 children.
But I played with Mateo some concerts together.
Yes,
Oh.
and
Mateo was playing violin or?
violin.
Like I played violin at school and I played piano somewhere else.
Where do you play piano?
Piano in...
You play with a private teacher.
Ah, with
And
her.
violin
no,
he
not
studies
private.
No,
But
okay.
Hagit is private.
It's only ours.
Will you stop chewing on your fingers?
And Mateo plays violin at school. And so we had some concerts at school and we were playing together.
Do you like to play concerts?
Yes.
Why?
Because so many people. I don't like just like I don't like filming concerts. I just like being in concerts.
You like to listen to concerts or to play in the concert?
Play and listen.
Play and listen. So you play and then listen. Play and then listen. Like this or how?
So like I play when I have to play. I like the cowboy song the best because on that I don't have to play the whole thing. I just have to play one piece.
Aha. Why don't you want to play the whole thing?
Because the second part is too hard.
And the third is much more.
There's only 2 parts.
That's what it was.
Всего 2 части. Okay. And do you like when everyone applauds?
A tiny bit because it can be very loud.
Ты моя Парижечка, хороший мальчик какой. A very, very nice person. Thank you for these words because we were so much waiting for them. So if you could tell us something more about you, I will appreciate very much.
I can do my job.
Please, please, I'm waiting. Thank you.
Can you magic?
I just do have 2 jobs.
Yes. And the first is,
The first is bad and the second is
let's start with bad.
bad.
Bad joke. I like bad jokes. Everyone likes bad jokes.
What do you mean bad?
What do you mean bad joke?
Like, Bobby, this is very funny.
So, we want to laugh.
It's too funny that I can't tell.
It's too funny. we will die from laughter or what?
There's a brother and a sister. They both had phones, and one was working on the phone, and the sister was calling, and the brother was calling on the phone, and the brother that wanted to call someone. Instead of calling that he needed, he called the sister, and he was like the brother was in the house and the sister, and then they went in the car, and then the girl didn't, but he's in his room because the brother said that I'm going to my room because the room is next place from the garage, and there's no car, and then she went back up, and then the brother arrived, and then they bumped into the house.
Oh my goodness.
Gosh, that reminds me of Noel, his 10-year-old brother. You meant jokes like this, stories during, and then at the end he would say, "It doesn't make any sense."
I thank you so much for this absolutely exclusive interview. Do I understand it's your first interview?
Yes.
Oh,
But not the last one.
for sure. It's a debut with Bravissimo.
A film went to our Belgian house, and we did football, and then we are on TV playing football in our garden.
Yes.
So football is much easier than speaking. I'm so sorry.
Yes.
And so, but you are really cool in speaking. So I wish you
But
luck.
after this, But like before, when we arrived, my mom said that if I do this good, we get when mommy picks us up, and we are going to the toy shop.
Такой на дiminuendo. The interview will go on diminuendo, so we could stop because this seems not to stop.
No, he just started.
Now he's warming up.
Картина, Ленин в Польше. На картине вся бутылка водки валяется, и на диване Надежда Константиновна с Дзержинским, так в достаточно интимной позе. И Катя спрашивает, как Ленин в Польше? А где Ленин? Как Ленин в Польше?
Ваш цвет блузы подошел к цвету лого. Просто вы сочетали.
Это я им специально прислал, чтобы они лого сделали под цвет моей.
Вот.
Шутка.